because at some point, and I'm trying so hard not to cry talking about this film, is why I didn't want to do the video in the first place. But at some point, you get to a point where you um you've gotten to the brim, right? I had initially said I wasn't going to do this video because of how triggering the movie was for me. But I just got back from my morning walk and I just got the lead to just do the video anyway. I watched Unbound over the weekend, and that movie, I I don't know. I felt very emotional. Even now that I'm talking about it, I still feel a little bit emotional after watching that film because there's a level of pain that you would go through that movie actually speaks to. And I'm someone who, over the years, I've learned not to identify myself with pain. Like, that's not my identity. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to talk about the movie, because I didn't want it to seem like I didn't want to like be that person. But when somebody does a really good film, you talk about it. So I'm going to start with the director, because I like to start with the director because I feel like directors don't get enough credits. Because I'm in the industry, I understand that it's easy for us to, because we see the stars in front, it's easy for us to just you know what do I say now? It's easy for us to glamorize them and give them all the praise. But the director is actually the owner of the film. The director, whatever the writer writes, the director is the one that interprets it. And I've been around them enough to know that sometimes you might give a director a script and they will change everything. So Peter Inyang, take your credit, take your flowers. Take your flowers. The cinematography, I loved it. It was so good. For YouTube film, the cinematography was good. I also liked the fact that it was 29 minutes. Because when I clicked on it, initially I didn't want to watch it, but God kept putting it in my face. Like, I kept seeing people talk about the movie. And then I think I saw a video interview of Peter Inyang. And I was like, okay, I hear you. I'm gonna watch it. And then when I clicked on it, I saw 29 minutes. I'm like, okay, let me watch it. The cinematography, color grading, amazing, short angles. I liked the short angle where the way the scene started and the both of them were like, just conversing. The Stanzi and Nelly were just conversing. And then I also liked the beach part where she was praying and praying for the guy, and there was the camera was angled on her face, and then it was going between her face and the sky, face and the sky. I liked that. It was really good. I'm going to talk about the actors. Nelly killed it. Nelly killed it. I don't think I've ever seen her in any movie where she was that emotional, but she portrayed what it feels like to be heartbroken. That part where she almost had a heart attack, where she had a panic attack, that is exactly what it feels like. You feel like your lungs are closed up, like you can't breathe. That is exactly what it feels like. The part where she was in church, where the lady was talking to her and she was holding her throat, that is exactly like you feel like there's something in your throat. And you guys need to watch that movie to understand. Like, if you've never gone through that extent of trauma, you will never ever get it. And it portrays real life, basically, like how you can just be with someone for so long, and then they do something very unjust to you, and then they're thriving. Like, almost every young woman has gone through that. Like, you're with this person and they do something very horrible, and then you wake up one day, you're in your feelings, you're probably trying to move on, or probably had a couple of failed relationships as well, and then this person is just striving, this person is married and they had kids. It was really triggering for me because I'm like, yo, you be talking about my life history here. But I liked the movie. I liked the message that it preached. I liked the part where Stanley knelt down and begged for forgiveness, because we don't see that very often. We don't see that that extent of closure. I like the fact that her husband went with her. Um, I don't want to give you too much about the story. Everyone has said it's a story about forgiveness and whatnot, but I think that it's a story of surrender. Honestly, it's a story of surrender because at some point, and I'm trying so hard not to cry talking about this film, is why I didn't want to do the video in the first place. But at some point, you get to a point where you um you've gotten to the brim, right? And I think it was a woman that said, I have gotten to the end of myself. So I had to pause the video because I started crying and I don't want to be crying on the internet. So as I was saying that a lot of people have said that this movie is about forgiveness and to each person their own rights. Like a body of work speaks to you differently. But for me, what that movie spoke to was surrender. When that woman said, you've gotten to the end of yourself, I felt it instantly. I started to cry because that's exactly how I feel right now. I feel like I've gotten to the end of myself, and at this point I'm just in a place of total surrender. And I think that's when you know the change really happens, when you get to a place of total surrender. So Stanze, thank you for producing an amazing movie. Isaiah, thank you for interpreting it so beautifully. Nelly, thank you for taking on that role with truth and vulnerability. Yeah, before I start crying again, I have to end this video.